Assalamualaikum everyone. Myself Urbana Bintalo. My ID is B2102022133. I am from Group 7 and today we'll be discussing about the topic motivation from concept to application. This chapter basically shows how understanding motivation can boost job performance and satisfaction in real experience for the employees. Here is my group members. Each of them will explain different part of this topic. So let's start. First is motivation. What is motivation? Motivation is the process that initiates, guides, and sustains goal oriented behavior. It has three key elements: direction, intensity, and persistence. Motivation can be intrinsic, like finding personal fulfillment in a task, or extrinsic, like a raise or recognition. It is very crucial for a manager to understand these sources to help employees to perform their best. Motivating by job design. The job characteristic model. One powerful way to increase motivation is by changing the job itself or job redesign. The job characteristic model by Heckman and Oldham explains how five core components of a job can affect how meaningful, responsible, and aware employees feel. This leads to better motivation and job satisfaction. Now, the five core dimensions. Let's break them down. First is skill variety. Does the job use different skills? For example, a garage owner who fixes cars, also he talks to customers and manages the business. Next is task identity. Does the person complete a full task? Like a cabin maker who builds a full piece of furniture has high task identity, but who only paints does not have that. Next is task significance. How important the job is to others. As example, a nurse who works in the ICU is very impactful, but who mops the floor is not that impactful. Next is autonomy. How much control a person have over their work. More freedom means more motivation. Last is feedback. Does the employee get clear info about how they are doing or where they should improve? The feedback helps them to improve or do their work better. That's all I have to say. Next, we will look at other ways to boost motivation by my other members. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum everyone. Myself Muhammad Mahmudul Hassan. My ID is P2102022141. Now I will be presenting the later part of job characteristic model, especially focusing on the two important part. First, critical psychological state, and second, personal and work outcome. I will be explaining the motivating potential score. Let's begin with the critical psychological states. This part of the model includes three important psychological experiences that are essential for employees to feel motivated in their roles. First, experience meaningfulness of the work. This happens when employees feel that their work is valuable. It's influenced by three core job dimensions. First, skill variety, task identity, and task significance. Second, experience responsibility for outcomes of the work. This means that the employee feels personally accountable for the result of their work. It comes primarily from the autonomy, which allows them to make decisions and control over their task. Third, knowledge of the actual result of their work activities. This is when the employee clearly understands how well they are performing. It is highly affected by feedback, which gives them directly information about their effectiveness. Now, moving to the personal and work outcomes, which are the positive results that come when the psychological states are probably met. It includes three important parts. First, high internal work motivation. Second, high quality work performance. And third, turnover. Now, let's talk about the motivating potential score, or MPS. This is a formula used to calculate how motivating a job design can be. The formula is MPS is equal to skill variety plus task identity plus task significance divided by 3 into autonomy into feedback. This formula shows us that the autonomy and feedback plays a big role in motivation. As they are multiplied, even if the first three factors are high, a lack of autonomy or feedback will reduce the overall motivation potential. High MPS leads to greater job satisfaction, increased productivity, and lower employee turnover. So this is from my side. Move on to my next teammate. Thank you so much.
Assalamualaikum everyone. This is Khairul Hassan. My student ID G2102022137. Today I discuss job redesign. Job redesign is a process of restructuring job role and responsibility to improve productivity, employee satisfaction, organization effectiveness. Job redesign can be according to the organization behavior book. Job redesign can be several approaches, but today I discuss three or two approach so that you can easily understand. First of all, I will discuss job rotation. Job rotation is a human resource strategy where employee move different role and department within organization for a specific period. The goal is to enhance employee reduce monotony and overall organization flexibility. For example, a manager hire a management training and rotate them different departments such as customer service, loan department, accounting department, marketing department. Now I explain this example. Customer service, customer complaint, handle customer complaint, and marketing department to strategy development, and accounting department to understand accounting statement or process. Now I explain the second step, job enrichment. Job enrichment is a motivational strategy that enhances employee by adding more tasks and responsibility. By adding more tasks, employees feel more valued and motivated. For example, a company employ a customer service representative whose primary role is to handle customer service, such as add car more responsibility. Now I explain the last part of my presentation or video. Enlargement. Job enlargement is expanding the scope of job by adding more tasks at the same level to increase variety.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Farjan Akhtar. My ID is B2102022139. Now I am going to talk about alternative work arrangements. These are flexible approaches to when, where, and how work is completed. Some of the most common types of alternative work arrangements include flex time, job sharing, and telecommuting. Let's begin with flex time. This is a system where employees can choose their working hours within a certain range. Instead of 9 to 5 working schedule hours, it increases productivity, reduces commuting stress. But of course, there are some risks. Employees can misuse the flexibility and it can be difficult for managers to monitor productivity. To overcome these challenges, organization can set core working hours where everyone is available. Most importantly, building a culture of trust, accountability, and open communication. Next, we have job sharing. This is when two employees share the responsibilities of a single full-time job. So, what's the benefit? Job sharing enables part-time work with the full-time impact. It increases knowledge sharing, reduces burnout, and it increases employee satisfaction and retention. But still, it is not without challenges. Differences in work style can lead to conflict. That's why it's crucial to clearly divide responsibilities, maintain proper documentation, and provide training and encourage collaboration is most important to work with job sharing approach. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Bajid Ahmed and my student ID is B2102022132. Now I'm talking about telecommuting. Telecommuting is also known as remote work or working from home. Now I'll define what is telecommuting. Telecommuting is working from home at least 2 days in a week on computer that is linked to employer's office. Here some facilities of telecommuting. For example, technology driven, flexibility, productivity, and cost saving. Now I'm talking about employee involvement and participation. Employee involvement and participation, also called EIP. EIP is a participative process that uses the input of employees to increase employee commitment to organizational success. Here to break down to the two terms. At first, employee involvement. This is the border of concept that refers to create an environment where employees are encouraged to continue their ideas, suggestion, and feedback in every work process. It's more information and continuous. For example, suggestion system, quality circle, problem solving, team, regular meeting for input on workflow. Secondly, employee participation. This is more structures and refers to formal mechanism that gives employees a role of decision making, especially area like company policy, strategies, direction, and operational improvement. For example, joint consultative committee, representative on board, work council, collective bargaining. Here some benefits of EIP. First, higher job satisfaction, increasing innovation and creativity, better communication and trust, reduce resistance to change, improve productivity and morals.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. I am MD Mashrafi Al Mahmood. My ID is B2102022135. Today I will talk about participate management. Participate management is joint decision making between subordinates and superiors. Here employees share decision making power with the leaders. There are some key conditions for success. Those are trust and confidence in leadership, avoidance of coercive techniques, emphasis on organizational consequences, decision. The key elements of participative management are involvement in decision making, where employees are given in a voice in setting goals, solving problems, and making strategic decisions. And shared power and responsibility. Management shares some control with employees to encourage ownership and accountability. Team-oriented culture. Emphasis on teamwork, trust, and respect in the workplace. Open communication. Regular dialogue between employees and management encouraged to promote transparency. The advantages of participative management are increases motivation and job satisfaction, leads to better decisions through diverse perspectives, enhances teamwork and collaboration, builds trust between employees and management. Now we will talk about representative participation. The representative participation is employees who are represented in decision-making bodies. Here aims to balance power between labor, management, and stockholders. There are two forms in representative participation. The one is Works Council, where employee groups consulted on workplace decisions, and board representatives, where employees serve on the board of directors. The key features of representative participations are indirect participation. Employees do not make decisions directly but elect or appoint representatives who speak and act on their behalf. Formal structure usually involves established systems like work councils, trade unions, or employee representatives on company boards. Collective voice. Representatives present employee concerns, suggestions, and feedback to manage or participate in policy discussions. The advantages of these representative participations are ensure employee interests are considered, especially in large organizations, promotes fairness and labor rights, can improve communication between employees and management.
Assalamualaikum, I'm Suzana Salam Didi. My ID is B2102022136. My topic is using rewards to motivate people. Pay is not the only driving factor in job satisfaction. However, it does motivate people. As you can see here on my screen, a study shows that 62% of an organization agrees that rewards, especially financial rewards, motivate employees, and the other 38% disagrees. In this section, we are going to discuss how to pay to employees and what to pay to employees. Establishing a pay structure. Companies often establish pay structure by balancing internal equity and external equity. Some organizations offer higher market rate to attract and retain top talents, while on the other hand, some companies keep the wages minimum to reduce cost and higher turnover. Rewarding individual employees through variable pay programs. There are many kinds of variable pay programs to motivate employees. The first one of them is piece pay rate. Piece pay rate is where employees are paid on the basis of their produced unit or their performance. In Bangladesh, for example, garment industry, employees are paid on basis of their performance or the unit they produce. Second is merit-based pay. Employees receive raises or bonuses based on their performance evaluations. For example, companies like Singer Bangladesh Limited implement merit-based pay. Third number is bonus, a one-time payment or reward given to employees for achieving specific goals, meeting performance target. For example, Mastin Garments Limited, a leading apparel manufacturer in Bangladesh, provides bonus to employees based on their performance evaluations. Fourth is profit sharing plan. A profit sharing plan is a portion of a company's profit that is distributed to employees, often as a bonus or through a retirement plan. For example, a 100% export-oriented firm, Pacific Denim, regularly allocates 5% of its profit to the PFL. Fifth is Employee Stock Ownership Plan, ESOP. Employees are granted ownership of company stocks either directly or through a trust as a part of their compensation package. For example, Midland Bank of Bangladesh provides stock options to employees during their stock market listings. To sum up, variable pay programs generally boost motivations and productivity, but not all the employees respond equally. Organizations use multiple elements like ESOPs, bonuses, so managers should assess individual and combined impact. Monitoring employees' performance reward expectation is the key. When employees see a clear link between performance and rewards, motivation is the highest. Thank you.